The art of negotiation is an acquired skill. The first offer that people offer you normally is pipe dreams. What are you trying to get out of it?
I think it might be worth around $9.
It might be worth $9 retail, but I'm not in the retail business.
What do you think's a fair price?
I'll give you $400 for it.
$400 sounds fair.
All right, with shows like Pawn Star, more and more people are becoming familiar with how these particular stores can work for both sellers and shoppers. But what does pawn really mean? And when is it better to just sell your item outright? Joining us with some useful pawn tips, please welcome Pamela Wright with Wright Pawn and Jewelry. Hello. Obviously, with the economy, people who had never been to a pawn shop before are now coming into the stores.
That's correct. And with the advent of the reality shows, it's really given a boost to our business.
Yeah. All right, let's address something first off. Sometimes you say pawn shop to somebody and people go, oh, yeah, I go all the time. And then you might say it to someone else and they go, well, is that legitimate? Is that stuff? So you are regulated.
Yes, we definitely are regulated. Would you believe there are over 10.5 million loans made in Texas every year? And that results in $1.2 billion being loaned to the Texas consumer.
Wow,
Isn't
just
that
in
amazing?
Texas alone. And very few of those, contrary to some popular belief, very few of those items are stolen because of what you have to go through to make sure the item coming in that store is legitimate.
Exactly. We are governed by the Office of the Consumer Credit Commissioner. We're classified as a financial lending institution, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And we're governed by the state legislature. We have to report everything to the Houston Police Department by serial number, driver's license number, and description so that they can run it through their computer and determine whether it's stolen or not.
All right, let's define. What does pawn mean?
Pawn means that you want to get your merchandise back, that you get a loan on your merchandise.
So you're holding the merchandise as collateral?
Absolutely. We hold it's a collateralized loan that does not affect your credit. We don't check your credit, and the value of your merchandise secures it. So as long as you pay your interest, your loan stays active. All your merchandise is in the back, in the vaults or in the safes. No one ever sees it.
Yeah, okay. Then also you can sell certain things. We'll talk about that in a second. But when you pawn something and determine what amount of money you can get for it, this is where it can get confusing for a lot of people because they say, I paid this for it, like we saw in that soundbite.
Yes.
You're not looking at full retail price, especially if it's something that's used.
That's correct. That's correct. It's what does it sell for on the secondary or used market. It's like when you drive your car off the lot.
Yeah.
What becomes used immediately. And what is the condition?
Yeah, for example,
what is
these two purses right here.
These are identical handbags retailing for over $1,000. This one is obviously in much worse condition than this one. In our store, this sells for $250. That's $650.
Okay.
So you can tell the discoloration and the staining. But you know, you can't have a purse and carry it and not have some condition issues. But if you've got makeup in the bottom of your purse or that bubble gum that accidentally got wet, nobody's going to want that.
Yeah. Because sometimes you'll just say, look, I've got quality stuff here, so I don't necessarily need that.
Right.
So yeah, the condition of it will determine how much you can get for your pawn or how much you can get when you outright sell it. When should you decide? You know, sometimes people will come in with something and go, this is my great grandmother's.
Yeah.
But I need $50.
That's
right.
That's
and
right.
you're like, when someone says that,
I say, are you sure you want to make a loan on it? If you do, pay your interest so that you can keep it. If you're emotionally invested in something, you know, it may not be a good idea. It's definitely not a good idea to sell it. If you want it back, get a loan. But make sure you stay in touch with us so that we know you want it.
Yeah.
If we don't hear from you, you don't write, you know, or call us, and you don't come by the due date, we think you don't want it, and it may go to the floor.
But very few things happen that way.
Only 20% of our merchandise goes to the floor. 80% of our loan customers pick their merchandise up.
Okay. And then there are things that you can sell straight out, as we mentioned before. But again, the value of what you get, it just depends. Okay. So, for example, you get designer handbags. When we say designer handbags, you know, everyone, when we buy our little purse, we think, oh, this is the best purse in the world.
Absolutely.
But it's certain purses that you were looking for in a higher-end pawn shop, those top designers.
Right, which would be Louis Vuitton, Christian Dior, Chanel, any brand that does not have an outlet at the premium mall.
Yeah. Okay, and then the other thing, of course, with the rise in the price of silver and platinum and gold, all the precious metals, it's amazing what you can get for that, things you don't want anymore. This right here amazes me. This is a plate full of grills. Okay, these were actually,
The teeth,
yes,
the diamond
yes,
teeth.
these were actually sitting in someone's mouth. So when gold and everything went up, you found more and more people. Do they just kind of walk in the store and go, hey, how you doing? Look, how much do you think this is worth right here?
Sometimes
Yeah.
they'll pop them out. We offer tissue and say, put it in here.
Yeah.
We go clean it. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
stuff like this
Yeah.
is worth a lot of money. Okay. Also, we have things that we can get money for outright, things that we might not be wearing. How many of us have those little broken chains? I had those serpentine chains from the first time gold went crazy in the 70s. And people will think if it's broken, you don't want it.
Oh, if it's broken, you do want to sell it. If it's gold, it's gold. It doesn't matter if it's rose-colored gold, yellow gold, white gold. Gold is gold. So do not ever throw away a piece of gold or sterling.
Yeah. Do you have the approximate value of what this right here?
Yeah. In the tray, it's approximately $11,000.
This
That's
is
how high
wow.
gold is. Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
wow, wow.
So you really can turn your gold into either cash or something that you want.
Yeah, okay. Things with diamonds, that becomes another issue. People will come in and say, you know, they're emotionally attached to it and say,
Right.
but we paid this much for
Right.
it. Diamonds are diamonds, whether you bought it new or not. The problem is, did you buy it retail? Because you all wouldn't pay retail for it.
That's correct. Because anyone in the jewelry business, including a pawn shop who's a dealer, can buy jewelry wholesale. So we are not going to pay half of retail for something unless, with the caveat, designer jewelry is a little bit different, but just gold and diamond jewelry that you buy normally, it's going to be based on the components.
Okay.
What is the diamond weight? What's the quality of the diamonds?
Yeah, and tiny diamonds don't necessarily
just don't.
count in
That's
terms
right.
of affecting the value as much. However, if you have big diamonds, that's when it makes a difference. Like this one right there. This one needs to go home with me right over here. I think this, wow, look at that right there. Only the problem is that is, I think, yours,
It
right?
is.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so the bigger the stone, the more you could possibly get for something like that.
You know, half carat and up is usually the rule of thumb.
All right.
But
Well-
we'll still buy anything.
Yeah.
But just, you know, understand that
look
there's
at
a
it.
difference.
Yeah.
Let us look at it.
Yeah.
Let us,
Okay,
Let's see.
well, we're back with Pam Wright from Wright Pawn and Jewelry in just a little bit because she's brought some unusual things. That's the other great thing about a pawn shop. If you shop there, you're going to get stuff because you're buying at a lower price. They can sell it to us at a lower price. So we'll talk about some of the unusual things you can find and some of the great deals you can get.
Thank you.